Covalent bonds are bonds that form when elements or atoms share electrons. A molecule is just a group of atoms that are held together by covalent bonds. Examples include water, carbon dioxide, oxygen. We talked about this prior. Um, it has to do with their valence level. Like for instance, hydrogen has one electron in its outermost level, its valence level. Okay, so we show this by putting a little dot there. Oxygen has 6 electrons and stuff. And so what happens is, in order for hydrogen to be happy, it needs to share an electron. It needs to pick one up. Okay, but oxygen isn't just going to give it away, so they share one. Okay, now oxygen needs a total of 8 valence levels, or valence electrons in its outer level. So it needs to pick up one more. So here is what water looks like. We have 2 hydrogens, each with 2 electrons, and we have 1 oxygen, now with 8 electrons. All of them are happy, and we end up with water. Okay? Hydrogen bonds are a special kind of bond that forms only between hydrogen atoms. And you see this in water. See if I can get this to work here. There we go. And that's actually what causes the polarity of water. And so if we look at this water molecule, we've got our oxygen, we've got our 2 hydrogens. We talked about how they form. A water molecule actually looks like this. The hydrogen get attracted to each other. Let's see if I can get this little thing to go. There we go, maybe. Well, you kind of get the gist of it. So it looks like that. It actually resembles a Mickey Mouse head. And when that happens, it causes, polarity. Okay, that's a charge. So the hydrogen ends up having kind of a positive charge on its end, and the oxygen has a negative charge. And so this oxygen is going to be attracted to the hydrogen side of another water molecule. The hydrogen side is going to be attracted to the oxygen. And we end up with surface tension, which is what allows bugs to walk on water. That's what you, with the paperclip lab and the penny lab, that polarity is what allows those water molecules to stick together. A third type of bonds are ionic bonds. And ionic bonds form when atoms either lose or gain electrons. And when this happens, electrons have a negative charge. It allows for the whole idea of opposites attracting. And an example of this is sodium chloride, or table salt. Sodium has 11 electrons, 11 protons. Okay, 2 are in its first level. So if we look at that, we've got 2 electrons. Okay, 11 minus 2, we end up with 9. It's got 8 in its next level. We end up with 1. So it's got 1 valence electron. Okay, chlorine, if we're not going to do the math, has 7 valence electrons. Okay, both of them need 8 to be happy. Now it's a lot easier for sodium to give up an electron because it only has to give up 1, and then it's happy. Okay, so it's actually going to say, hey, I don't want this. I'm going to give it away. Okay, when it gives that electron away, it now has 10 electrons. Okay, and 11 protons, which causes a surplus of positive charge. So it looks like that. Okay, so sodium has a positive charge. Chlorine needs 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. So it picks up that electron, which causes it to have 18 electrons and 17 protons. So now it has a negative charge. Okay, opposites attract. So the sodium and the chlorine combine with one another, and we end up with table salt.